the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. Perched on top of a hill overlooking the Sea of Galilee, there you have SUSITA National Park. The site protects the important archaeological site known as SUSITA, which was an ancient city. The site is also called Hippos, which is the Greek word for horse. It is on a flat-topped, diamond-shaped foothill near Kibbutz Engel and overlooks the entire area of the Golan and Galilee region. Seleucid settlers established the city, known as SUSITA, between the 3rd century BCE and the 7th century CE after seizing the land of Israel from the Ptolemies. The Seleucids settled in the area and founded the city. During the Roman period, Hippos was part of a region of 10 great cities, also called Decapolis. The city controlled 2 port facilities on the lake and an area of the surrounding countryside. Hippos were protected by thick fortification walls, which can still be seen today. The archaeological site of SUSITA, or Hippos, offers a fascinating insight into the history of the ancient city. Situated within the SUSITA National Park, the site was once a border fortress for the Ptolemies as early as 1st century CE. The Seleucid colonists established the ancient city of Hippos in the middle of the 2nd century. Hippos grew into a busy city-state and had a temple, a central market area, and other public structures. Hippos became an independent Jewish kingdom in 142 BCE after the Maccabean revolt. Roman General Pompey conquered Syria and Judea in 63 BCE, ending the Hasmonean independence. During the Roman and Byzantine era, Christianity flourished in Hippos. Muslims invaded Palestine in the 7th century during the Rashidun period and took over the city. Christians were still allowed to practice under the Umayyad Caliphate. An earthquake destroyed the city of Hippos in 749 CE, and the city was permanently abandoned. Wine and oil presses was a popular industry in the Holy Land. Many agriculture presses are found in most of the biblical places and ancient sites, including Hippos. A large agricultural installation is located on the south side of the northwest church, close to the forum. It includes 2 wine presses and an oil press. Another wine press was discovered in the northern annex of the church. The paved area of the Hellenistic compound stretches to the north of the forum area. It was surrounded by a colonnade. Many architectural fragments are scattered over the area. They indicate that a Hellenistic public building was erected inside the compound, built on a stepped podium, perhaps a temple in the area of the Byzantine Northwest Church. This limestone temple was built during the 2nd century BC. The compound continued to function in the Roman period. A large-sized public building was erected with basalt stones during the Roman-Byzantine period, although only fragments were found. The northeast side overlooks the En-Geb Brook, which flows deep below the mountain of Hippos, more than 200 meters below its level. A panoramic view of the north side is seen below. Between the 3rd century BC and the 7th century AD, Hippos, as it was then called, was the site of a Greco-Roman city which declined under Muslim rule and was abandoned after an earthquake in 749 AD. Besides the fortified city itself, Hippos controlled two port facilities on the lake and an area of the surrounding countryside. Hippos was part of the Decapolis or 10 cities, a region in Roman Jordan, Syria, and Israel that was culturally tied more closely to Greece and Rome than to Semitic ethnic around. It would have been to the city that the swineherds ran to tell of the fate of their pigs, and it would have been the residents of the city who begged Jesus to leave their neighborhood. Matthew 8:34. Hippos may also be the hilltop city Jesus referred to when he said, "A city built on a hill cannot be hid." Matthew 5:14. The remains of a Byzantine cathedral and 4 other churches have been found at Hippos, and Bishop from Hippos is recorded as attending the church councils of Nicaea and Constantinople in the 4th century. Newly, a mosaic depicting fish, birds, and baskets of have been bread was uncovered, may commemorate the historic location of the miracle recorded in the New Testament in which Jesus miraculously fed a multitude. According to the lead archaeologist at this site, Haifa University's Dr. Michael Eisenberg, the colorful mosaic was uncovered in the ongoing Hippos SUSITA excavation project at the SUSITA National Park, southwest of Burnt Church. The 15-meter by 10-meter mosaic carpet is bursting with fish, birds, and 12 baskets filled with fruit, flowers, and arguably bread. The traditional location of the miracle is across the city of the Church of the Multiplication of the Loaves and Fish in Taba, which houses a famous mosaic depicting 2 fish on either side of what is thought to be a bread basket. It is the SUSITA Church's combination of fish and bread basket that has led the archaeologists to believe that the mosaic could be a record of the miracle of the multiplication of the loaves and fishes, and a clue hinting a historic location for the feast. In the New Testament, when Jesus mentioned a city set upon a hill that cannot be hidden, it may have been referring to Hippos. A miracle of Jesus recounted in Mark 5 and Luke 8 may be related to Hippos also. It may be true, since Jesus is preaching on the northwestern side of the Sea of Galilee. From there, SUSITA is visible clearly from afar, so at the time of Jesus, this illustration couldn't be more clear, because for them, there was only one city that is on a hill in this region, and they could see it right from there. Everybody could see it. It was right there, on that top of the mountain. In other words, biblical scholars believe is the reference of the illustration Jesus gave. This site is located within the 1949 UN demarcated demilitarized zone between Syria and Israel, per the Israel-Syria Mixed Armistice Commission. In 2015, a large bronze mask almost without equal for its dimensions and dated between the 1st century BCE and 2nd century CE depicting the Greek god Pan was retrieved by archaeologists from this site. The Forum is the main public square of the Roman city. This broadly paved rectangular plaza, built in the end of the 1st century AD, is surrounded by colonnades on 3 sides. 14 gray granite columns are scattered around, fallen by the massive earthquake of 749 AD. The central paved area is 13 by 25 meter paved with rectangular basalt flagstones. It may have been constructed in the 1st century AD or the beginning of the 2nd century. The Southeast Church, also named the Cathedral, is the largest and most magnificent of the churches in Hippos. It was the only structure that was excavated before the Haifa University excavations. These excavations, headed by Claire Epstein, were performed as a rescue dig during the 1951-1955 digs when the IDF fortified the hill during the clashes with the Syrian army. The cathedral has a rectangular shape and is oriented east-west. A view of the cathedral seen below, the row of the columns fell towards the southeast side as a result of the great earthquake. Silica. The rear side of the paved area of the forum is seen below. Behind this area was a basilica, another public section of the forum. While the forum was an open area, basilica was a roofed structure. The excavated basilica is seen below. The rectangular structure was built on a north-south axis. The roof was supported by the walls and columns. To the south of the northwest church are 3 rooms which served as an industrial complex and storage area for agriculture products used by the priests and monks. Many rich findings were unearthed here: vessels and tools, wine and olive presses. The Romans rebuilt the city with the construction of new Roman-style roads incorporating the Hellenistic city within the new constructed city. New public buildings were constructed, including the forum and structures around it, at the end of the 1st century. To enable the city to expand, the water supply required a substantial boost. Roman engineers constructed 2 long aqueducts of 25 km from Samak Brook to the hill east of Hippos and then over the valley to the east gate with an underground pipe using the siphon technique, which was based on modular basalt units. Archaeological surveys were conducted here in the late 19th century by Gottlieb Schumacher. During the early 1950s, there were clashes on this border, and the IDF fortified the SUSITA hill as a front post. In order to preserve the antiquities, emergency excavations were held in the cathedral area. This is an archaeologist's dream. The ruins were mostly undisturbed, and the treasures found under the debris are fascinating. However, it will take years to complete this enormous task of excavation, reconstruction, and preservation. The area around the site was declared a national park in the year 2000. However, no new infrastructure was constructed except for the archaeological project. Christian importance. The city was an important Christian center during the Byzantine period and was an episcopate, the seat of the bishop, starting at 359 AD. The majority of its citizens were Christians, and the existence of 8 churches indicates the city's importance. Hippos is also regarded as one of the candidates for the location for Jesus' faithful meeting with the Legion or Swine Miracle. Decamanus Maximus is the main colonnaded street of Hippos. It runs a total length of about 500 meters, connecting the city's 2 gates along its main axis. The street is named after Decumanus Maximus, the Roman word for east-west main street. The main buildings of the city lie on both sides of this road. Front of the structure on the southwest side of the forum is a deep water reservoir. The underground structure is 9 meters deep and supported by an arched roof. It is accessed by a L-shaped staircase, which is seen here in this video. The reservoir measures 20 meters by 6 meters and is 9 meters deep and is built entirely of limestone. This was the main water supply for the Hellenistic city. The Romans added the aqueduct in order to accommodate the large water demand for the expanded city. A water drainage channel is located on the south side of the forum, which directed water into the reservoir. Baptistry. On the northern side of the church is a baptistry, which is also shaped as a rectangular hall. The hall is divided into nave and two aisles by two rows of columns. The floor is converted by a carpet of mosaics. One of the inscriptions dated the floor to the end of the 6th century. On its eastern wall are three apses. Their walls were plastered and painted. The middle apse is the largest stone. In the center of its floor is a round baptism basin. The water was fed to the basin via a lead pipe that was attached to the central wall above it. In conclusion, the city of Hippos, also known as well as SUSITA, was founded on this hill overlooking the eastern shore of the Sea of Galilee during the Hellenistic period in the 2nd century BCE. The first residents of the city were pagans who later converted to Christianity. At their side lived a small Jewish community as well. Most of the ruins visible today date to the Roman and Byzantine period, 1st century to 7th century. They include a city gate, a main colonnaded street, a defense wall with fortified towers, a sophisticated water supply system, the main square, the forum, a reservoir, a sanctuary, churches, a baptistry, and more. The city was apparently destroyed by an earthquake in 749 CE and was never resettled. During Israel's War of Independence in 1948, members of Kibbutz En-Geb, located at the foot of the hill, took control of SUSITA. It was a front-line military command post until the Six-Day War in 1967. On Golan Heights, there is a danger of mines. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you like it and hope you enjoy watching it. I also ask you to please subscribe to my channel, like and share it to your loved ones. Come to SUSITA National Park. Visit a lot of national park in Israel, and hope you like it and